بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تنزيل الكتاب من الله العزيز الحكيم. إنا أنزلنا إليك الكتاب بالحق فاعبد الله مخلصا له الدين. ألا لله الدين الخالص والذين اتخذوا من دونه أولياء ما نعبدهم إلا ليقربونا إلى الله زلفى إن الله يحكم بينهم فيما هم فيه يختلفون. إن الله لا يهدي من هو كاذب كفار. لو أراد الله أن يتخذ ولدا لاصطفى مما يخلق ما يشاء سبحانه هو الله الواحد القهار. خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق يكور الليل على النهار ويكور النهار على الليل وسخر الشمس والقمر كل يجري لأجل مسمى ألا هو العزيز الغفار. خلقكم من نفس واحدة ثم جعل منها زوجها وأنزل لكم من الأنعام 8 أزواج يخلقكم في بطون أمهاتكم خلقا من بعد خلق في ظلمات 3. ذلكم الله ربكم له الملك لا إله إلا هو فأنى تصرفون. إن تكفروا فإن الله غني عنكم ولا يرضى لعباده الكفر وإن تشكروا يرضه لكم ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى ثم إلى ربكم مرجعكم فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون إنه عليم بذات الصدور. وإذا مس الإنسان ضرا دعا ربه منيبا إليه ثم إذا خوله نعمة منه نسي ما كان يدعو إليه من قبل وجعل لله أندادا ليضل عن سبيله قل تمتع بكفرك قليلا إنك من أصحاب النار. أمن هو قانت آناء الليل ساجدا وقائما يحذر الآخرة ويرجو رحمة ربه قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون إنما يتذكر أولو الألباب. قل يا عبادي الذين آمنوا اتقوا ربكم للذين أحسنوا في هذه الدنيا حسنة وأرض الله واسعة إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب. قل إني أمرت أن أعبد الله مخلصا له الدين وأمرت لأن أكون أول المسلمين صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Just a reminder that we will be having a program here this evening as well for Arba'in, inshallah. They'll begin at 7 o'clock with ziyarat, with namaz, followed by ziyarat, dinner, and then for the 4 parallel program, inshallah. Just a couple of quick announcements, upcoming events. One is Camp Noor, December 15th to 18th. The registration is open. They're still taking applications, and it's still considered early registration, in which you get a bit of a discount. So I encourage all people who fall in that, all the youth and people in college or out of college to apply, inshallah. And then another upcoming event on December 2nd is the SBIA have invited us for the birthday of the Prophet. It's a really good event that Maulana Abidi will also be speaking there, so I encourage everyone to attend, inshallah. And then just another reminder that we do have children's program every time we have a program here at SABA. Please look at the updated locations for whatever age range you're looking for, inshallah. And with that, I'd like to invite up our speaker, Maulana Abbas Mirza from London, with the loud salawat.
Like the whole community tend to walk from Najaf to Karbala. So this points out to that sincerity of their actions, which have become a global act of all participants for this great ziyarat, which is highly recommended to be performed on the day of Arba'in. And it is the sincerity of these scholars who have put this sunnah, who have put this practice. Something it was very spiritual, something which was very much for to themselves, but now it has become a fascinating event which tend to bring out the fruits of the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Like we said last night, that Arba'in is the day to really calculate, to really see whether the shahadat, whether the martyrdom of Imam Hussein have given its fruit or not. The martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam was for humanity, for insaniyat, for that humanity, to bring that sort of true sense of being a human being out. So today when we see on the day of Arba'in, on this walk, that true humanity, people who don't have, who are giving, people who are serving, on this particular day, this points out to that, yes, it has reached that target of bringing out that insaniyat from insan. But the point is that we have to extend this. Not only that this type of humanity remains in that walk, in that makan, but the makan of Hussein is kullu arzin Karbala. It's not just that makan, right? Kullu arzin Karbala and kullu yomin Ashura, and every day is Ashura. So the time and space belongs to who? The time and space belongs to Hussein. As we recite in the Quran that we have to do a transaction with God. Who is the one who give that qarad al-hasana? Who wants to do that transaction? Hussein did a transaction. He gave everything he has, and he got all earth and all time. He got the kullu zaman. It belongs to Hussein, and every land belongs to Hussein. And there is no day like the day of Hussein. What a transaction! That everything have become Hussein, right? So therefore, the insaniyat, which was the main purpose of that, sacrifice of Imam Hussein, which contains all of the other aspects of Amr bil Maruf and Sirah and revival of the Sunnah of the Prophet, so on and so forth, that we see that, yes, on this walk, on the day of Arba'in, when we look at people, millions and millions, 25 million, as they say today's figure is to reach, that they all are kind of moved towards that cause of Imam Hussein, which is of insaniyat, with that spirituality, with that manaviyat, with that sort of azm and will to really visit Aba Abdullah al-Hussein and pay that tribute. But like I said, it should extend to all makan, not only to that makan of Karbala or to that makan between, where people are walking, but everywhere. And in terms of, it should be in all zaman as well, not only particularly to the zaman of Arba'in as such. The second thing in regards to Arba'een is that if you look at Ashura and Arba'een, these are the two major events or two major dates that regardless of a person who doesn't participate in all 10 majalis or all over the year, he will be there, with those who love, or he will at least, if he is far away, remember Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. These two events or these two dates are like pillars. One is Ashura, it's like, and Ashura is more of a, an event where the community gathers near themselves to commemorate. And this has been sort of like a, just the culture that we have. It's a very important and valuable, and we got to uphold the culture. Never underestimate the culture. Never attack the culture. That, these are cultural things and we should not practice, and what is this? And yes, they are. So we got to be very careful. We have to really, bring that sort of cultural values that are there with awareness, with intellectuality, with understanding, not just blindly bringing in stuff. We got to really, see that how and to what level that we could, so that it should not undermine our diyanat, our religiosity. Culture, if it is undermining our religiosity, it is undermining the akhlaq insani, ethical principles, yes, But there are a lot of good things about the culture, because culture really comes from that doctrine itself, based upon those principles, particularly when it comes to our religious culture. And usually at the time of celebration, you would find certain cultural elements to it, or at the time of commemoration, you would find certain elements to it. For example, wearing black. What is this? Is it in the Quran, or is it sitting on the floor, majalis, tabarruk, and all of these things are part and parcel, and it becomes that. This walk itself, it has become a very religious act. It has become a farhang dini, to really that cultural, religious, cultural, valuable act that people tend to do, for instance. So we have to be very, very in regards. Now, culturally speaking, it used to be the case, and certain of the senior members will agree with me, that when there is a wedding, for example, and the first Muharram is usually where the bride goes back to the own family to really commemorate. It used to be the practice at a given time in India and Pakistan. I'm not aware of Iran. Iran, I think it's pretty much the same, but usually this has been the case, that at the time of commemoration, when Muharram comes, if there is a marriage that year, the wife will go to the parents' house. So Muharram, Ashura, was an event where the community gather together to really commemorate for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. But Arba'een is a global event, where you are asked to go for ziyarat of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. You see? So you have one event which is focusing upon community building, where everybody gather and commemorate. And then you have a global event, which is Arba'een, where everybody go out there. So today we tend to see that, and how important it is that to commemorate community-based commemoration, majalis, azadari, ashura, right? And then the international event, the global event, which is, Arba'een today. It's really fascinating that there isn't any religious celebration like the celebration of Ashura on earth that so many people gather. It even surpasses the number of people who gather for Hajj, right? And these are the practices, Ashura, Arba'een, Hajj, and the month of Ramadan, for example, which really keeps our youth, ourself, the whole community together. These are very important practices that we have to. Yes, things goes online, people can sit in the comfort of their home, but the point is that particularly on these big events like the 10 days of Muharram, the majalises that we have, Arba'een, it is something that we need to come out. We have to be together in centers, in Hussainiyas. It's quite important to, to really socially be active, from a community point of view, for the Iman as well, right? So now, if you look at it, that this Arba'een, have become a global event, and as a matter of fact, these are the activities which have kept our deen alive. And particularly when it comes to Azadari of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, that it is the, it is the most, how shall I say, greatest action which have truly kept those true principles of our religion, of Islam, right? Not even, I would go to the extent as a social sort of analyzing our, as a sociologist, analyzing as a sociologist, that not even Hajj has been that sort of powerful in terms of keeping the community together than how the majalis or how the ziyarat, how the Ashura have kept the community together. And the emphasis, I mean, because Hajj is like, Hajjaj, only people who are Hajis, who are religiously oriented, he would go and they would perform that and they are affected by it. People outside, somehow, not in that sense of the word, that how those Hajis are being affected by it. But Ashura, but Majalis of Imam Hussain, but Ziyarat is so powerful that if people are globally, no matter where they are, and at the same time, no matter how religious they are, whether they care about going to Hajj, whether they care about praying or not praying, but when it comes to Hussain, they are willing to give whatever they have, right? This is really fascinating, because this is in that, that personality of Abu Abdullah al-Hussain. Hussain is really amazing. One cannot really comprehend and imagine who is Hussain. The companion of Imam Rada says that when, you are Imam, I believe you. But when it comes to Hussain, I have a special love for Hussain. There is something else in regards to Imam Hussain. And Imam Rada alayhi salam says the same thing. It's the same for me. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam has a different hisab, have a different account with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why you find scholars who were champion, who were mountain in the ma'arif, in the knowledge of Tawheed, such as Sayyid Ali Qazi, who was the Ustad of Allama Tabatabai, Agha Bahjat, and all these great scholars, in Irfan, in mysticism. He says that the marahil, the levels of Tawheed, which was not possible for him to really reach, it was through, Abu Abdullah al-Hussain alayhi salam. It was through Imam Hussain, right? And, things were achieved, knowledge were transferred, given to him through Abu Abdullah al-Hussain, because he is really a personality who have, inshallah tonight we'll try to look at that aspect of it, who was able to manifest the utmost reality of God on all three different levels of Tawheed, which we talked about. The Zat, Sifat and Awsaf, which we're gonna probably look at it tonight in a bit more detail. And nobody ever would have done that, and he managed to do it. And like we said, there's no day like Abu Abdullah Hussain, and he managed to do that. Then a question occurs in our mind: what about the 12th Imam, for example? There's a difference there. The 12th Imam will be victorious from a worldly dunyawi point of view, but Imam Hussain was not. Imam Hussain lost the battle, but still he was victorious, right? So there's a major difference in that. Imam manifested, Imam reflected that true reality of the dunya, that even the kamal to the maximum extent, is not, when it comes to the dunya, is not possible to really manifest that. Dunya is limited to manifest all of the qualities of God. And the event of Karbala manifested that. There's a lot of discussion that is needed to really comprehend what I'm saying, but inshallah perhaps we could do it a bit more tonight. Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So these are the two pillars, which is Ashura and also Arba'in, which is very important, that we have to consciously participate and bring our children and give towards this cause in all ways possible. And obviously, while doing so, we receive, we get. That's really amazing. Now, The other thing which I wanted to point out, which is once again in relation to Ziyarat Arba'in, is that the sincerity of, like as we said, the walk of Arba'in and the sincerity, we see the similarity in terms of Ziyarat Arba'in as well. The Ziyarat Arba'in that we have is from Jabir ibn Abdullah Ansari, which is from Imam Sadiq, and eventually Jabir is mentioned there. I mean, I don't know what this man have done. What this man have done in regards to his sincerity towards Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, that whenever Ahlul Bayt is mentioned, you have Jabir, and Jabir ibn Abdullah Ansari, Hadith Kisa. I mean, this is fascinating. There are other ashab as well, no doubt, and they have their own maqamat and their own levels. They are remembered. But when it comes to Jabir, I mean, he's particularly mentioned every time when you recite, Hadith Kisa, right? Then you have Ziyarat Arba'in, another major event that where, you remember Jabir, is really fascinating. So this points out to this, there are certain elements within insan, you and I have that, which requires that sincerity towards Ahlul Bayt, towards God, for that name to be remembered. Many became Shaheed, but Shaheed Hujaji, I mean, fascinating. They were all Shaheed, those who are protecting defending the Haram, for example. And other Shaheeds also have young children, and some of them haven't even seen their own children because their wives are still pregnant, but they go and they sacrifice their life for, protecting the Haram. But out of all, Shaheed Hujaji becomes that alam. There's something about that sort of sincerity that a person, performs or have done, that he's remembered, right? So Jabir is all. Now other ulama as well. It's not like, okay, only those who were at the time of the Prophet or who were close to the Imams have done that. But among the contemporary period, we do find that. Like, for example, Shaheed Hujaji, or for example, Imam Khomeini, or for example, Allama. For example, Hui, for instance. There are certain sort of big champions who become, amongst human beings, among insan, who have served. They all have served sincerely, no doubt about it. They are all shaheed as well, those who have become shaheed, and they are sincere as well. But some of them become, very unique and special. And apparently, Hazrat Jabir ibn Abdullah Ansari is one of those who was able to bear witness the fifth Imam as well, who saw the fifth Imam, who brought the salam from the Prophet to the fifth Imam. And this Ziyarat Arba'in is from him, right? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thirdly, in regards to Ziyarat Arba'in, in regards to the majalis as well, which have a relationship, is that when we analyze the social setup within any from the religious context, we find that certain actions which becomes part and parcel of major religious practices. And it is quite fascinating that the practices that we have within Islam these religious practices, other than the wajibat, for example, which are the practices of the Prophet of Islam, who brought that, and all Muslims tend to practice that. But there are certain sunnah or certain practices which are laid, which becomes like part of these practices or these sunnahs or these actions which was given by the Prophet. One is the Tasbih Fatimatu Zahra Salamullah Alayha, which have become part of our prayers all across the board, regardless of Shia or Sunni. It's a practice which was performed, which was done, under the pretext or with the name of Siddiqa Kubra, a lady. You have the Prophet there, and then you have Siddiqa Kubra, who have put the Sunnah, who have founded the Sunnah. The foundation of Tasbih Fatimah Zahra Salamullah Alayha is obviously it's known as Tasbih Fatimah. 34 times Allahu Akbar. And how many times Subhanallah and Alhamdulillah? And how does it go? 30 times. First Subhanallah and then Alhamdulillah. So first 34 times Allahu Akbar. And then Subhanallah. Yes. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ahsan. It was not only to wake them up, but to all of the other brothers as well. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I know some of us had Starbucks coffee last night. It was late at 3 o'clock, but it's not seems to be working. As a tabarruk, we were at a majlis at someone's house. So another salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So it was a practice of her, and by her name it has remained, and became one with that salat, and so much emphasis on it that it became more powerful than any other sunnah prayers, where the reward of a person is more than 2,000 rakat of prayer. If a person performs Tasbih Fatimatu Zahra Salamullah Alayha after the wajib prayer, the reward is more than 2,000 rakat of prayer, which is not possible for a person to finish 2,000 rakat in 2 minutes. It takes for him to recite tasbih, and unfortunately, many a times we don't have time for that. Or when we recite, we just kind of, go at a speed of Ferrari, 100, 120 miles, how we recite, I don't know what face this amal becomes, we don't really know, because they say that every action of ours have a face. So we don't know this. What does it become? We really don't know. So, so this tasbih, the sixth Imam says that for me and near me, reciting tasbih is better than reciting 2,000 rakat of prayer. So it's that powerful, this tasbih, Fatimatu Zahra Salamullah Alayha. And we are so lucky, to really have that. And as we have that love of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, every time our mothers have taught us, our elders have taught us, they have taught us about the tasbih. As you can see, for example, our youngsters. Maybe perhaps, there are certain practices that we have is really, we should be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indeed, today is a day of thanks. Someone who have that ma'rifat to whatever level of Imam Hussein and remembers Imam Hussein today. Show me how many people does that. There's a lot, for example, from those who are amongst the Shias, but in terms of those who are amongst the Muslims, to really have that understanding and be moved by Abu Abdullah is a great honor. And we should be really thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have that, right? I had a friend, I had mentioned this earlier, who was from Singapore. And when he used to go to back to Singapore in summer, as he was studying in Qom, he would work for the Iranian embassy, as he knew Farsi to translate and stuff. And one of the person who comes for a visa in the Iranian embassy, he applied, and then the time of Zohar comes, so he wanted to pray. So this, my friend Muhammad Baqir, his name was, now he's in Indonesia, you can Google him. So don't be scared when you look at him, his long hair, he's like a Sufi type of person, He's a professor in one of the universities there. So he took him to the room to pray, Nawaz Khune, a place where they do it. So this Sufi Sheikh, who was very famous, he prayed, and then he had Mafati there. So he took Mafati just to take a look, and he found Jawshan Kabir in there, in that Mafati. And he was shocked. And my friend said that, what happened? So he says that this dua our Sheikh gives us after a number of spiritual exercises and years of loyalty to our Sheikh, then finally he gives us this Jawshan Kabir. It's such a powerful dua. But for us is, in Mafati, is everywhere. It's not like. So therefore, the Ahlul Bayt and the blessing of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam that we have is really fascinating and amazing. That right from the childhood, Jawshan Kabir, the nights of Qadr is like a common practice among us. That we practice. Obviously we have to increase this in order that our hearts are open towards these ma'arif, towards this understanding, towards the spirituality. Sheikh Sabzawari was a great philosopher of early 1900s. Shar-e Manzume is one of his philosophical texts. Mullah Hadi Sabzawari. he used to recite Joshan Kabir in his qunut of Salatul Layl, every night. So obviously the performance of that should be of that accord, at least. And sometimes it's difficult for us to really recite Joshan Kabir on one night. We tend to divide in 3 nights. Maulana 25 padhenge, phir 25 padhenge, phir last din jo hai 50 padhenge or something like that, right? So even to complete that, we tend to recite 25, verses of Joshan, 19, 25 on the 21st, 25 and then, 50 on the last one. So I mean, when we have it here, we have to really make the best use of it, right? So tasbih is like that. It's so powerful. Everybody knows. And obviously 2000 rakat better means that it provides us with that qurb, that nearness. If I perform 2000 rakat, where will I reach in terms of my nearness to God? If I just recite tasbih Fatima, I will reach much closer than that 2000 rakat that I have prayed. That qurb I will get. That nearness I will get. Right? It should be recited in that fashion, for that purpose, for that qurb, for that nearness, right? It brings that ma'rifat and that understanding, to us. The other thing is this sunnah of ziyarat of arba'in, which is one of the practices of Hazrat Zainab salamullah alayha. According to certain narrations that it has been mentioned that it was her who said that we want to go through Karbala back to Medina. So she sort of established that sunnah of going to Karbala, and it has become that part and parcel of this great practice of ours, Ziyarat Arba'in. Everybody talks about Ziyarat Arba'in. Even our children knows about Ziyarat Arba'in. Yes, on the day of Ashura as well, we have Ziyarat Ashura, we have Amal Ashura, Ziyarat Warith, so on and so forth. But Ziyarat Arba'in has its own sort of unique peculiarities to it, because it's one of that greatest sunnah of this great lady, Siddiqa Sughra, Zainab Kubra, Salamullah alayha, Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, just a few points in regards to Ziyarat Arba'in itself as we recite it today, because it's very important to focus on the meaning, on the understanding, to have that ma'rifat, that understanding, that knowledge of what we are reciting. Because we are the school of aql, we are the school of intellect, we are the people of logic, we are the people of understanding. We don't just blindly follow things. There's a major difference in blindly following and performing it with understanding and ma'rifat. So if you help me with the Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. There's a special ziyarat which is particularly mentioned in regards to Arba'in, which Sheikh Tusi mentioned this in his one of his book, which is quite famous. How many books we have which are famous in our school of thought? Can anybody help me? They are known as which are those books? Kutub Arba, the 4 books which are very famous, what are they? Not Hayatul Qulub, no, the 4 books that we have. Like for example, in Ahl Sunnah they are Sayya Sitta, they call the 6 books, But for the Shias there are 4 books which are very important that we should really know. Alhamdulillah, gradually we find that the level of understanding of our youngsters, of our youth are growing compared to when I was young, when I was, attending the majalis and so on and so forth. For us, we have 4 famous books. Although we don't say that everything what is in there is 100%, like how they say Sahih. Sahih means correct, right? We have a unique way of analyzing the hadith literature, a very amazing way that we tend to kind of refine our hadith, reject them, accept them. Musnad, Mursal, Marfu, Mu'annan, so on and so forth. Inshallah, if we have time, perhaps we could do that later on and discuss later on. Right? Mutawatir, and Qara'in, there are different evidences to really prove that this hadith is a mutawatir, although there is no sanad of it. For example, mutawatir means that abundantly mentioned from different narrations that this event or this thing happened, or this is from the Prophet, like for example, Ghadir. It is mutawatir. All Muslims believe that this happened from different sources, right? So there is a sanad, there is a proof, there is a chain of narrators that they have mentioned this and this happened. But there's another type of mutawatir where one looks or where one examines the text of it and would say that this has to be from the Imam. Although there's not like abundantly people mention. For example, Ziyarat-e-Jame Kabira. Like for example, Munajat-e-Shabaniya. You will not find that sanad as such, or you will not find that 100 people or all Muslims are talking about Munajat-e-Shabaniya as being mutawatir, continuously being narrated. But the text itself is so fascinating and amazing that it has to come from an Imam and no one else. Right? So therefore you have the enormous way of analyzing and understanding the riwayat and that we have, right? Which is amazing, right? So you have this 4 books in which we also say that not all hadiths that are in there are 100%, but they are there. So I'm just mentioning this particularly, for example, some of our youth, when they are faced with Ahl Sunnah, they say that Shias believe there are 40 juz of the Quran, not 30 juz. They will say, oh really? Where does it say? Oh, it mentioned in your 4 famous books, Kutub Arba, it's in there. We say, okay, fine, it's in there, but we don't really believe that. We believe that there are 30 juz, right? We don't accept 100% what's in there. Anyway, so these 4 books is Man La Yahzarul Faqih, Istibsar. What else? Tahzibul Ahkam and Usul Kafi and Furu Kafi. 2 from Kulaini, 1 from Saduq, and 2 from Sheikh Tusi. So this riwayat that we have of Ziyarat-e-Arba'in is from Tahzib, from Sheikh Tusi. Once again, Sheikh Tusi also an amazing figure, who have contributed. And it's quite important that we get familiar with these names and how things have come to us. The reason, because what we have is so crystal clear. There's no any sort of subtraction or addition. It has come from the Imams. The riwayat and the ayat and the books and the belief system that we have. There's a book which is, once again, Bab Hadi Ashar is a book in theology of Sheikh Tusi once again. I mean, Sheikh Tusi was very close to the period of the 12th Imam. Right? So this really shows that the riwayat and hadiths that are there in this Kutub Arba, the belief system that we have, the practices that we practice, are from those scholars who were very close and who were expert in the field of, rijal, which they call the sciences of narration, of hadith and riwayat, and they have brought it and given it to us. There remains no doubt. And it's the contribution of these great ulama and scholars. Like Sheikh Tusi mentions this in his book, in one of his books, Tahzib, and mentioning the companion of the 6th Imam that he has mentioned, Safwan ibn Jammal. Jammal is the person who, a camel, who used to hire out camels, who used to have he would rent camels. Jammal is a famous, and you might remember one of the incidents of Jammal with Musa Kazim, and he used to rent camels to Mamun Rashid, and what happened, you know that. So this riwayat comes from him. And this Ziyarat-e-Arba'in comes from him. Now, very briefly, very quickly, few verses of this Ziyarat of Arba'in. Assalamu ala waliyallahi wa habibih. That's how we begin, by giving salutations and salam. I will not pay attention or talk about a little bit about salam, salutation, what it means, which is one of the names of God, so on and so forth. But waliyullahi wa habibih. Waliullah is the guardian. It's not just a friend, and it's not just a guardian how we can imagine it to be. Guardian who is appointed by God, and he holds the highest seat after the Prophet, and he is appointed by God, and he is closest to God. He is that Waliullah. He is known as Wali. Wali is also one of the names of God as well. But here, when we say Waliullah, when we are saying Imam Hussein is a Waliullah, he is that highest seat, selected by God, appointed by God, to be closest to God. And he is the guardian of all the realities, of all the truth and haqaiq in relation to Tawheed, which he transfers to the other Imam. Because Tawheed is It's a simple concept, one God, but it's a very complex. It's a journey. We will not understand Tawheed in this dunya or barzakh and even in the hereafter. Tawheed is ongoing. That's why the Prophet would say that, Rabbi zidni ilma, or fil hayra, in my astonishment, increase in my astonishment. Because God is astonishing. God is very surprising. God is a mystery that even in barzakh we'll be learning. Even in Jannah we'll be traveling towards God. We will not be able to comprehend, God in complete sense, right? So, but the Imam is the one, even the Prophet does not have that complete and understanding. Ma arafnaka haqqa ma'rifatik. That's what the Prophet said. I haven't recognized you, O God, the way I was supposed to recognize. Haqqa ma'rifatik. Ma abadnaka haqqa ibadatik. I haven't worshipped you, O Lord, the way I'm supposed to worship you. Where Prophet his feet is swelling up at night, praying, crying like a small baby at night, right? Is the Prophet, the Akmalul Anbiya, Khatamun Nabiyeen, Akmalul Insan, the perfect of all soul. Just we have to compare us, where do we stand? In the mirror of the Prophet, where do we stand? We say that we are the Ummat Muhammadi, right? So here, ma arafnaka haqqa ma'rifatik. I haven't recognized you the way I am supposed to recognize you, right? So Waliullah or the Prophet, they have the secrets of Tawheed. God have disclosed this Tawheed to them, this special unique knowledge to them. And they transfer to the Imam who is next, heart to heart. It's been transferred. Whoever God's appoint, this knowledge is transferred to them. There's a riwayat in Usul Kafi which says on a Thursday night, which is tonight, every Thursday night, God opens a bab. God's open a door of Tawheed towards his Waliullah, towards the Imam of the time. On every Thursday night, God opens the door of Tawheed towards God, meaning opening the door means that provides him with the knowledge, so that his daraja increases. So the Imam of the time, for him, every Thursday this happens. And automatically when this happens for the Imam, it transfers. That barakah and that blessing is transferred to his true followers. Those who are his true followers, they gain from the Imam. It's a muttasil, it's connected, right? Those who are closer to the Imam. Like for example, Sayyid Ali Qazi would say that Abul Fazl is the Kabe awliya. Abul Fazl Abbas is considered as the Kaaba of the saints, of the awliya. Wow, it's a very fascinating statement. It's a Nare Haydari type of, statement. But we got to, but we need to reflect. I mean, this is not, me saying or you and I just saying in love of Abul Fazl that's what he is. We are talking about Sayyid Ali Qazi, who will not accept his students if he is not a mujtahid. In order to be the student of Sayyid Ali Qazi, the condition was that you have to be a mujtahid. And Agha Bahjat, at the age of 16, 17, from that onwards, he became the student of Sayyid Ali Qazi, which means that he was mujtahid at that age. Agha Bahjat, may Allah bless his soul, right? So he has said that. So what does that mean? He's trying to point out to that Kaaba, these peculiarities of Kaaba. First, we need to know what are the peculiarities of Kaaba, where Muslims circumambulate, where they go around Kaaba. Their tawaf is complete, their hajj is performed. The beauty, what is Kaaba? Is the house of God. Now here, Abul Faz is the Kaaba of, not Musalman, Kaaba of awliya. Now, of who? Of saints, of wali, of awliya. And that is Abul Faz. Because, like I said, the ma'arif, tawheedi, if it comes to the Imam, from that tawheed that has been revealed to him, that asrar and secrets of God, that transfers to those who are the closest. And Abul Faz was that door, to Imam Hussain alayhi salam. That's why he's Kaaba of awliya, right? Now, here, when we are saying he's the Waliullah, he's the guardian, means that he's the protector. He's the guardian of all that from, metaphysical point of view, right? And then you have the guardian being the Wali of all creation as well at the same time. So he sits in that place where he becomes that source of transfer of mercy of God towards others. Right? So those who, na'udhu hate the Imam, those who have killed the Imam, they are participating in connecting that mercy of God for all of creation. Right? That they become the most, evil of all. Right? They become the most evil of all because they are, acting to cut that mercy of God to reach others. And now obviously there are darajat. Why Imam Hussein alayhi salam was mentioning that, why Zainab was so protective of Imam Hussein. Because he's the last of Ale Abba. He's the fifth of those Panjatan, of those five. There's a special rank there. Yes, all are Imam. We don't doubt. But Imam Hussein is the last one. It's like Khatam al-Nabiyyin is the last prophet. And Hussein is the Khatam of that Ale Abba. That's why Zainab knows that. Hazrat Zainab salamullah alayha, she is aware of that. That's why she's so much protective of Imam Hussein, that even if there be a second of his physically being in this dunya is so uniquely affected. The whole creation is affected. So she has to make sure that he's alive, that he breathes in this plane, that he doesn't die, you see. So he's that waliullah. As-salamu ala waliullahi wa habibe. That sifat of being habib is once again, the Prophet he himself was Habib, and we are addressing the Imam as Habibe, someone who is loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? We don't really have much of a time. Very quickly I will reach to where I wanted to reach and do zikr musibat. As-salamu ala khalilillahi wa najibeh. What type of khalil? Khalil means a friend. Now if you look at the sifat which we are mentioning here, the same way as Waritha, Muhammad Habibillah wa Ibrahim Khalilullah, he is the Warith, right? Here as well we are mentioning those qualities of the Prophet to the Imam Hussein alayhi salam, of the Prophets to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Waliullahi wa Habibe. Habib is the quality of the Prophet himself. Then As-salamu ala Khalilillahi. But what type of Khalil? A friend, Najibe, who's been selected. God have selected him. Ibrahim was selected. He was a friend, but he was uniquely selected by God. So here we are addressing that to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that As-salamu ala Khalilillahi wa Najibe. And then As-salamu ala Safiyillahi wa ibn Safiyeh. Safi also means that who is chosen. Adama Sifatillah, we call him, chosen one, right? So here we are addressing, but what type of Safi he is? Wa ibn Safiyeh. Not only him, but even his father was as well. Although we are not the one who believe in the kingship or things are transferred from father to the son, but this is an honor that he was someone whose father was also. This is very special. His honor is not because that his father was Safiullah and he was him, but he himself was Habibullah. He himself was Khalilullah and Najibeh. He himself was Safiullah, Ibn Safiyeh as well. Pointing out to that genealogy. What type of personality is Imam Hussein? Is a son of, who was also chosen. Not only him, but his father was as well, right? As-salamu ala al-Hussein al-Mazloom al-Shaheed. Now we address to the Imam, he says, you are Mazloom. As-salamu ala Asirul Qurabat wa Qatil al-Abarat. Now salam ala al-Hussein al-Mazloom. Who is Mazloom? Who is the one who is oppressed? Yes, Imam Hussein was oppressed by Bani Umayyah. We say that, he was oppressed and he was, his right was usurped, his right was taken away, and how he was oppressed and how he was killed, which is the description is in that Asirul Qurabat. He was in the middle of all calamities, all different, pains and difficulties and tortures. Hussein was there. From all sides, he was like, no one would have really imagined that in what state Hussein was. And the beauty is that the day he was coming closer and closer to the day of Ashura and his shahadat, his face was shining more and more. Even after all of that masaib, But his resolve and his state was so beautiful that he was shining light. He was shining. He was looking more and more beautiful. And the ashab have mentioned that, right? In the middle of all of this Masa'ib, Mazloom, he's Mazloom, that he's been surrounded by the enemies. He's Mazloom that he himself went all the way alone when Akbar calls him, "Oh father, come to my aid. It is the time that you come and help me." So when Akbar falls, Imam Hussein swiftly goes towards Hazrat Ali Akbar. As the journalists have reported, described, there are certain descriptions given by these journalists, by these ravis that are there, that they were there, like a falcon towards its prey. Imam Hussein went towards Hazrat Ali Akbar to save him, to help him. For example, when he called, like a falcon towards his prey. But when he was going towards Hazrat Ali Akbar, he said, "Oh Akbar, call me because I cannot see you, because everything have gone dark for me." Then he falls down from the mount of the horse on the ground and he crawls towards Ali Akbar. And when that dust settles in the plain of Karbala, Hussein is seen with Akbar. Akbar placed both of his hands in the neck of Hussein. And here Imam Hussein alayhi salam trying to speak with Hazrat Ali Akbar. And finally he notices that spear which is stuck in his heart. Hussein faced this on the day of Ashura, this mazlumiyat, that his own son, his own young son in that state. It is not only that pain, but the clapping and whistling of the enemies and surrounding around Hussein and not allowing Hussein and laughing on Hussein. This is mazlumiyat of Hussein, where Hussein tries to lift Ali Akbar, he cannot, and the young children comes out from the tent and helped Imam Hussein alayhi salam to carry the body of his own son. As they say that if Hussein was not successful in giving this test, as the ayah of the Quran says, "Ma ashaba min musibatin fa min Allah." This is a waliullah who sees that everything is from Allah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Ma asaba min musibatin fa min Allah wa man yattaqillah yahdi qalbahu. The one who has God-wary and God-conscious, his heart is guided. Hussein's heart was guided. Musibat after musibat, calamities after calamities, his heart was guided. Then it comes to that time of taking that 6-month-old Ali Asghar. Look at the mazlumiyat of Hussein. That the father brings a 6-month-old for a couple of spoons of water, but in return, a 3-headed arrow is targeted to the neck of his own son. And there Hussein looks at the heaven and says, "What is this?" Says, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un." And then he's pleased with this qada, which the destiny which God have destined for him. And then he walks towards that tent. This action of his have become Amal Ashura, one of the actions of the day of Ashura, where he moves forward and he says, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un," taking Asghar's body in the hand, and moves back. He says, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un." There wasn't any shaheed that it was so difficult for Hussein to take his body back to the Qiyam. It was the body of Ali Asghar. Finally, he takes the body of Ali Asghar and he gives to Rubab, and she is baffled and shocked that even the 6-month-old baby. And as you all know, that this was the only grave that he digs open and buries Ali Asghar compared to other shuhada. But you know what they did after they burning the tents, when they looted? They were collecting the heads of the shuhada. They said one head is missing. And they started throwing spears in the ground and trying to dig open what is inside. And they found the body of Ali Asghar. And they severed the head of Asghar. We can't really imagine how the women and children, when they look at these heads on the spears and what was going in their hearts. So Hussein is mazloom in the midst of all of these calamities that is there. And then waqatilul abarai, Hussein, where every eye that hears about Hussein cries. Imam Rada alayhi salam says that you have read the ayahs of Sajdah. When you read the ayah of Sajdah, Sajdah becomes wajib for you. You have to fall in Sajdah. Imam Rada says that when the name of Hussein is taken, a tear sits in the eyes. That's what abara means. Abara means that a tear sitting in the eye. So whoever listens about Hussein, that eye cries for Hussein, whether that be young and old, whether that be Muslim or non-Muslim, whoever listens to it. That if that tale of Karbala is mentioned to them, they cry for Hussein. Qatilul Abara, it is that Hussein. And here's Hussein all alone, looking left and right. There is no helper of Hussein. And then he attacks the enemies, and how he furiously fights. Finally they said, Alaman, Alaman, who is there to save us? The enemy is going left and right, but Hussein attacks them, conquers the plain of Karbala, pushes the army back to the walls of Kufa. And that hour occurs, that it says that Hussein, the time have come, put down your sword. And that time everybody attacked Hussein, and he falls on the ground all alone. And in that bloodbath, Shimr moves forward. And when Shimr moves forward, Shimr, the type of dagger he used was not a sharp dagger, because he was striking the dagger on the stones while he was going towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That's why he's mazloom. Every person is killed, but with a sharp dagger. An animal is slaughtered with a sharp dagger. Water is given to that animal. That's why Imam Zainul Abidin used to ask the butchers in the market field, in the butcher market, that have you given water to these animals before slaughtering? Because my father was not given water. So Hussein is mazloom, that even the dagger which they used was not a sharp dagger to sever the head of Hussein. And while Shimr was about to sever the head of Hussein, Zainab runs towards that Qatalgah. And when she runs towards the Qatalgah, she sees Hussein in this state. Unimaginable that Hussein can be in this state, that Zainab will see Hussein in this state. Yes, Zainab have seen the burning door falling on Fatima. Yes, Zainab have seen the wounds of Ali and Hassan. But in that state, that is mazloom. No Imam was in this state, the state Hussein was. Surrounded by the enemies, in the midst of that Qatalgah, one is throwing a spear, an arrow, and those who have nothing throwing stones at Hussein. And here Zainab says that, are you really my brother? I cannot recognize you, O my brother. And then the day of Arba'in comes, when the caravan returns back to the Ziyarat-e-Arba'in of Imam Hussein. Jabir ibn Abdullah Ansari was there. And then he says to Atiyah, who was one of the slaves, that, oh Atiyah, I hear this sound and the flags that are coming towards Sham. Why don't you go and see whether is this the Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam who have arrived? And here Jabir asked the slave to go, and then he says that if you bring me the good news that it is the Ahl Bayt, I will free you. And finally Atiyah comes back and he says that it is Ahl Bayt. And one after the other they came. The mothers and the women and the children and the sisters, they were throwing themselves from the backs of their camel to reach to the graves of their loved ones after the martyrdom of them on the day of Ashura. And then here Imam Zainul Abidin moves forward. Jabir ibn Abdullah Ansari welcomes Imam Zainul Abidin, and here Zainul Abidin says that, oh Jabir, I have a request. Women and children, they want to do the ziyarat of the grave of my father Hussein. Will you move a bit more far, because I don't want their voice, their cries to be heard by you. Because Imam Zainul Abidin was that much aware in regards to the hijab, in regards to their voices of their ladies, that it should not go towards a non-mahram. That is why one could imagine that this statement really is from Imam Zainul Abidin, because it was so painful that, that Imam Zainul Abidin says that, I wish my mother wouldn't have given me birth. Imagine an Imam saying this statement. It is not possible that you and I will say these type of things when we face calamities and musibat, because we don't have tolerance. But for Imam Zainul Abidin, him saying that, you know why it was that? Because Imam Zainul Abidin, when they asked Imam Zainul Abidin, where was the most difficult for you? He said, Asham, Asham, Asham. So the unveiling of the Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam, imagine this, that how can it be possible? Ayatollah Sibawai mentioned this. This is the musibat of Zainab. Today is that as well, the day of Zainab salamullah alayha. He says that, before that I will mention this, when we take our family members who are ladies, we are a bit shy to take their name among men. Imagine the name of Zainab was called in the courtyard of Yazid, that Zainab bint Ali. Where is Zainab bint Ali? That name was taken, that name was heard in the courtyard of Yazid. So here Zainab comes on the day of Arba'in, throws herself to the grave of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. They are all lamenting and crying. Karbala is full of zawar of Ahl Bayt alayhi salam today, and the day of Arba'in, the loved ones were there. And here Zainab says, oh brother, do you remember that when I came to Qatalgah, the place I came, and I told you that, are you really my brother? Oh Hussein, if you look at me today, you will ask me, Ha anta ukhti, are you really my sister? What Zainab went through was really so much of atrocity, so much of pain. Whenever they want to move the caravan swiftly, they will come and beat Zainab salamullah alayha. The food that was given to the prisoners was so little that she would distribute to the young children and would not eat anything. This was Zainab. Some of the jumalat, some of the statements of the ziyarat are so painful that she would hide her face. These are the jumalat, statements of the ziyarat with the hair that nobody could recognize. This is Zainab. Look what Zainab have gone through. Ala lanatullah ala qawm al-zalimin sayalamun lazina zalamu ayy munqalibin yanqalibun ma'atame Hussein.
Let us begin with saying salam to the Imam, that we wish that we were standing next to his grave today. If we were among those who are lucky to be in Bain al-Haramain today, may we be standing in Bain al-Haramain and saying salam to our Imam. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Thar Allah. السلام عليك يا أسير الكربات. السلام عليك يا قتيل العبرات. السلام عليك أيها المظلوم الشهيد. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. Let us make tawassul to Imam Hussein, those who have hajat. Ask Allah that maybe next Arba'in will be standing in Bain al-Haramain on this day. يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله. يا وجيها عند الله. They say when Jabir ibn Abdullah Ansari reached the grave of Imam Hussein, he began to cry. Maybe because the first thing he saw was the little grave of Ali Asghar of Hussein. He placed his cheek on the turbat of grave of Imam Hussein, just like Imam Hussein did in Karbala. The only thing that Imam Hussein could do to calm him down when he saw the body of Ali Akbar Hussein cut into pieces and pieces. فَقَطَّعُوهُ بِالسُّيُوفِ إِرْبًا إِرْبًا, was to place his cheek on the cheek of Ali Akbar. Then Jabir said, Habibun la yujibun Habiba. Oh my friend, why are you not returning the salam of your friend? Why don't you answer me? Imam Hussein said something very similar on the day of Ashura, when he reached the body of Qasim ibn al-Hasan. Now that I mentioned the name of Qasim, let us remember a moment in Karbala when Qasim was fighting. Suddenly the soldiers were withdrawing from him. They gather around him. Omar ibn Sa'd al-Unas, don't you see this boy is not wearing any shield? They picked up stones from the ground. They began throwing stones at the body of orphan of Hussein. Just imagine what was happening to the hearts of Lady Zainab. The bones of the body of this boy were crushing. They say at this point Jabir he went to almost a coma, like he lost it. And they had to throw water at his face. And when he woke up, the first thing he said was 3 times, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Let us say the beautiful name of Imam Hussein together. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. I will just end with saying what Jabir said on this day when he asked Imam Hussein, why are you not returning my salam? He said this, ثم قال وأني لك بالجواب. But Hussein, how can you return my salam? How can you talk to me? قد شحتت أوداجك على أثباجك. Let me say this in Farsi. حالان که خون رگهات روی شونه های مبارکت ریخت. وفرق بين بدنك وراسك. How can you return my salam when your head has been severed from your body? How can you return my salam when your head was placed on the spears in Karbala? How can you return my salam? How can you return my salam? How can you return my salam? Let us begin our matam with standing towards Karbala, closing your eyes. Imagine you were standing in Bain al-Haramain with millions of people, and saying, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala al-arwah allati halla. ليل والنهار آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein. Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein.
Oh my Hussein, 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 oh my Hussein. After the bloodshed and after the wars, after her sons would lay cut up in thirst, after they dragged her with all her clothes, for months in a prison her husband now knows. Oh my dear wife, you were so young, your hair is now white. Husband of mine, your Zainab has seen the worst day inside. We are the Prophet's own family and blood, the ship of salvation when lost in the flood. Our doorsteps were known by you beggars the most. Is this how you treat us, the heavenly host? If you will leave and want to do wrong, then we are the ones. Leave us till death, but Hassan and he are Prophet's own sons. Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Oh my Hussein, 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 oh my Hussein. And out of the tents came the son of Hussein, who looked like the Prophet and bore Ali's name. He fought off the throngs with a Hashemi sword, defending his mother, his father, his Lord. The youth was brought down, the truth was brought down, and falsehood fulfilled. And from afar it looked like to us the Prophet was killed. Here is Hussein with an infant in arm, the hand of a father protect him from harm, from thirst and from hunger, from cold and from heat. He lays down his baby by enemies' feet. This is my son, please for a child's thirst have respect. How can I say that arrow that pierced your white baby's neck? Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Oh my Hussein, 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 oh my Hussein. Riding on horseback to make his last stand, Abbas came bravely with water in hand. Soldiers surrounded him, soon he would fall. Stabbing and butchering, we saw it all. With tears in his eyes, for his Abbas, the Sayyid came there. Oh my Mawla, if I had more would I spare. With tears in his eyes, for his Abbas, the Sayyid came there. Oh my Mawla, if I had more would I spare. Ali had told him, Hussein is our jewel. You are to him as I was to Rasul. So as a boy he would cling to his side, prepared for the day when his life he'd provide. Amu Abbas, we are in thirst, dying of need. Amu Abbas, we are in thirst, dying of need. Please, oh Abbas, the water's so close. Oh our Shaheed, Zainab's in Karbala, crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, are you Hussein? Zainab's in Karbala, crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein.
40 days and counting, Karbala we're coming towards the shrine of Hussein, His lovers are walking. This is a noha dedicated to the millions who are walking toward the shrine of Imam Hussein. Ya Aba Abdullah, 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 Ya Aba Abdullah. Everyone. Ya Aba Abdullah, Abdullah, Ya Aba Abdullah. His 40th comes and the heavens hear a call, descends on Karbala, each lover an angel. The father leaves behind his wife, children and all. The mother carries the children that barely crawl. Ya Aba Abdullah, 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 Ya Aba Abdullah. Descends on her dust every nationality, the only language that of lovers of Ali. The fathers tell the son, get dressed and get ready, forget your nation today, your Karbala'i, oh your Karbala'i. Ya Aba Abdullah, Ya Aba Abdullah, Ya Aba Ya Aba Abdullah, Ya Aba Abdullah, Ya Aba Abdullah. I see a young girl and a flag she is holding. She reminds me of Ruqayya. I start crying. I see a woman at the roadside, she's standing. She reminds me of Zainab for a bus waiting. Ya Aba Abdullah, 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 Ya Aba Abdullah. When with the millions on his grave I descend, I thank Allah and then my salams to you send, my salams to you send. The beauty of this walk only you comprehend, and I will return each year until my life's end. Ya Aba Abdullah, 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 Ya Aba Abdullah. Abad wallah ya Zahra ma nansa Husayna. Abad أبد والله يا زهرا ما ننسى حسينا. 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 لبيك يا حسين، لبيك يا حسين، لبيك يا زينب، لبيك يا زينب، لبيك يا مهدي، لبيك يا مهدي. العجل يا حجة الله، العجل، العجل بقية الله، العجل يوسف زهراء، العجل خليفة الله، العجل خليفة الله، العجل خليفة الله. السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. What is happening in Karbala? Everyone is in Karbala today. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام على الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين. If you were standing in Bain al-Haramain, you had to turn around to say the salam. Assalamu alayka ya sayyidi wa mawlai, ya Abal Fazl al-Abbas, ya Qamar Bani Hashim, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayki ya Ummul Masa'ib, Zainab bint Amir al-Mu'minin. Let's say another salam. When Zainab came to Karbala on Arba'in, one thing that he said at the grave of Imam Hussein is, I returned every single amanat except one amanat that I left in Sham. Assalamu alayka ya Ummul Buka. If you enter the shrine of Hazrat Ruqayyah, Hazrat Sakina in Sham, there's a very beautiful poetry that says, آن کو در این مزار شریف آرمیده است، ام البکا رقیه مهنت کشیده است. A little girl that she cried so much that she was known as the mother of crying. Hazrat Zainab saw all these calamities in Karbala, in Kufa, and Sham. She became the mother of tragedy, al-Musa'ib. This little girl is known as the mother of crying. Assalamu alayka ya al-Buka. Assalamu alayka ya bint al-Husayn al-Shahid. Assalamu alayka ya Ali ibn al-Husayn Zayn al-Abidin. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي باقر علم النبي. السلام عليك يا جعفر بن محمد الصادق. السلام عليك يا موسى بن جعفر الكاظم. يا باب الهوائج, grant us all the ziyarat of Imam Hussein next year. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك يا علي ابن موسى الرضا. Grant us the ziyarat of Imam Raza. السلام عليك يا محمد ابن علي أيها الجواد التقي. السلام عليك يا علي ابن محمد أيها الهاد النقي. السلام عليك يا حسن ابن علي أيها الزكي العسكري. Let us say salam to the Imam of our time, to the Hussein of our time, to the one that we pray that he comes back and we help him. We become one of his members, one of his soldiers, one of his true followers. Assalamu alayka ya sahib az-zaman. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن أجرك الله مولاي. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا بقية الله في أرضه. Let us raise our hands and say Amin to these dua. وعجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك واجعلنا من خير أعوانك وانصارك والمستشهدين بين يديك.
بسمك العظيم الأعظم الأجل الأكرم بعدد ما أحاط به علمك بمولانا يا أبا عبد الله الحسين عليه السلام. يا الله 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 يا رحمن